What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Today we are here at Lake Julian doing two different disc reviews in the same video. I know it's a little weird. We're actually going to have more of a comparison than necessarily a review. We're going to be playing two new discs versus two discs from my bag that kind of theoretically fill about the same slots. So starting off, we have a mid-range. This one's fun. It's a Halo Condor. This thing is massive. It's 177 grams. It's Halo. I think this is the Halo Champion Condor. Flight number is 4602. So it's supposed to be a little bit glidier, a little bit straighter rock. So I have my Roc3 that has been beaten, and it's a little bit straighter and a little bit glidier. And then on the driver category, we have the Divergent Discs Wyrm. This is a silicone disc, but the flight plate of this is pretty flat on top with a very upsloped rim. It's supposed to be 8114. To compare that to, we have 9314, my Captain's Raptor. So we have the Roc3 and the Captain's Raptor versus the Condor and the Wyrm. And then for putting purposes, out of my bag, for my discs, P2, and then for the new disc, we're putting with the Nomad. We're going 12, 15, 16, 17, 20, and 21. So we're gonna play 6 holes and pit these discs against each other and see how they fly. Hole 12 from the long pad. The basket's currently in the shortest pin position, so it's about 520 feet, and it's a par 4. So we're gonna go just mid-ranges off the tee, try to put them in the middle. I'm excited to throw this one, but we're gonna start off with the Roc3. A little bit short. Did not throw that hard at all. This one, because of how big it is, it's probably gonna stay in the air for a little bit longer. But still has some really nice stability. Let's go make some upshots. You can just barely see the top of the band over this shrubbery. Thankfully it's in the short so we can see it. I'm gonna go Captain's Raptor, and I think I'm gonna go flex forehand. All right, I torqued it over just a tiny bit too hard. We're much more in the open, so I don't have to flex it as much to get around the stuff, but it's pretty floppy. So we'll see what happens on the release. I'm gonna throw forehand here again with the Wyrm. It is so floppy. I don't know if this is gonna work, but we're gonna try it. It's got a weird little, it's hard to throw on forehand, I think, but it has some really nice stability. I just didn't throw it very high at all because I was worried about it kind of folding on the forehand. It didn't fold too bad, so I think it's gonna be usable. Too low. I'm having issues getting the discs up in the air today. Wow, when the silicone gets wet, it feels so weird. Both at even par, because both of them kind of had weird upshots. Let's make a birdie on the next one. Until one set wins on a hole, I'm gonna keep doing a rotating tee order, so we're going with the newer discs now. If I learned anything from the last hole, it's that I need to put some air under this. Very overstable, but not unusable. I need to figure out the hit point, and I think it's possibly the silicone is just gripping onto my hand just a touch longer. So that's possibly it. Let's see what the Captain's Raptor does. All right, I threw that one a little bit higher. Let's see how the Condor putts. I mean, it's still a mid-range. I'm still gonna have to try to get it there. I definitely did not try. That was super soft. I can push it a little bit harder and still get it to glide, I think. My discs took the hole, which is completely fair, being that I was throwing 4 hands with 2 drivers. It makes sense that the ones I'm more comfortable with and the ones I'm familiar with are gonna fly more accurately. Let's go see if we can park hole 16. I almost said 16, hole 16. The old discs now have the box. I'm gonna throw the Roc3 and the Condor backhand. Just try to put them close. It's gonna be a long putt. Okay, so every Condor that I've ever thrown has been DX plastic and they've been a little bit straighter. This one still has the stability of the Roc, so I should have picked a method instead of the Roc3. Oh well, we have what we have. That one's definitely a little bit more stable, and I think it's because of the dome and the glide of the disc. I think if I were to turn it over, it would probably hold over for a while too. But just because it stays in the air for longer, it's going to push further to the left. Wonder what would have happened. It has so much glide. Little wobbly, but it still counts. 2 down with these. The Nomad's parked. It'll be 2 down with the old discs, even par with the new discs. Hole 17, par 3, 275. It's gonna be right up there. 2 down, even par. Let's go flex forehand with both of these and see if we can get close. Oh, fantastic kick. It really is just hooking onto my finger a little longer. Since we're testing it out, I do want to try it on a backhand though, so let's go a little bit of a soft flex backhand. I mean, it flies great on a backhand. Very overstable, kind of what you'd expect from the flight numbers. It's just on a forehand. Something about my release, I might try to switch it up the next time I throw it. But something about my power grip release just doesn't mix. Close. That is unfortunate bogey because I kind of made the putt. It just kind of bounced out. So 1 over, 2 down. I think we might play, yeah, let's play 20 as the par 4. So biggest things with these drives right here are going to be keep it in the middle of the fairway. So I'm going to go mid-ranges off the tee. Roc3 still up for. All right, that might be a chance for the new disc to come back from. At least a stroke or 2. I'm actually gonna have to turn this because it's not turning on its own. I am gonna have to put some anhyzer on it. I didn't see either one of them finish, so they're probably either up on the hillside or they're just on the side of the fairway. I'm gonna be throwing 2 forehand approaches with the Raptor and the Wyrm. The Roc3 is up on the hillside and it's slightly further away, so I'm throwing the Captain's Raptor first, and then the Wyrm is actually, like I said, right on the edge of the fairway. Something about the Wyrm and me are not driving right now. I'm sure it's a great disc. I just haven't figured out the hit point. Something about it, whenever it comes out of my hand, it just rolls right at the very beginning. and then it stables out really fast. We have one more hole to try it on. Hopefully I can throw it on 21. But for now, I am gonna throw the Condor on forehand. Now that's great. Should have been doing that all along. New disc for par. All right, just one more. These new ones are still one over. They have a chance to do something pretty cool on the last hole. We're gonna see what happens. Disc straight out of my bag though, still 2 down. Hole 21 is gonna be straight through that gap across the street and then hold pretty straight for a little while and then dump pretty hard to the right. Got forehands going on. Captain Raptor and then the Wyrm. That's too high. Yeah, way too high. This disc though actually comes out nose down, which is one of the problems I've been having because my launch angle is down on a forehand and then it comes out nose down, so it just right into the dirt. Let's see if we can do. Well, the funny thing is with silicone, because it's not plastic, if it hits a bush, it doesn't really go through the bush. It just kind of stops. I managed to make it far enough to slide across the street, so I'm safe, but I'm a long way away from the pin. Down to the disc I probably should have been using this whole time. Little short, but I mean, that's a good clean release. It didn't even flip. It's amazing, it's cool, and if I were to throw a lot of backhand spike kaisers on places that I needed the disc to sit, I probably would pick up a Wyrm. But as I'm not really throwing that many, too many of those intense, overstable backhand shots, I don't think the Wyrm's gonna be for me. It's fun, it's gonna be cool to play around with, and it definitely is gonna end up in another weird disc challenge where I just throw the weird discs. It's kind of fun to throw, and it works pretty good on a backhand. It just isn't for my forehand. Kind of put both of them into the same predicament. I should have just thrown a nice little chip backhand turnover, and I tried to get spicy with it, and then I hit a tree. I feel like that was pretty bad overall. Just the 2 of those putts were just kind of trash. Finished out bogey, double bogey. Not exactly the way we wanted to finish this round out. It ended up being 2 over and even par, which, guess what? It wasn't, there was one disc that was a problem on each side, and the disc on the new disc side it was the Wyrm. Let's be honest, it was the Wyrm. It had some issues and I had trouble throwing it, meaning I didn't really have putts for birdie too often. On the other side, it was the P2, not because the P2 is a bad disc, just because I was putting very poorly. So honestly, I'm gonna keep the Condor. I'm gonna play some more rounds with it and maybe even do some Condor only challenges. We'll see what happens, and then if I can get maybe a Doomsday disc, I've already got the Jaguar, we could do some plus size disc golf and then see how that works out. That might be fun. If you enjoy content like this, make sure to like the video. If you want to see something new, make sure to comment down below and make sure to subscribe. All these subscriber only giveaways, and until next time, see you out on the course.